Good afternoon. Ooh, I don't have to be quite so loud. Wow. Sorry about that. Good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing today? Good. All right. I love that energy. Awesome. My name is Paul Yuknovich, or Paul Yuck, thanks to the alias I got about 20 years ago. Can't escape that one. And this is my colleague.
Hey, I'm Andrew Hall. Both Paul and I are program manager leads in the Visual Studio.NET Azure Tools part of Microsoft.
And one thing that you wouldn't know is that we're actually twin brothers.
It's true.
Yeah. All right. So enough of that.
He's older, though.
Exactly. So I'm honestly honored to be here with you today. I've spent the last about 4 years helping a number of customers and partners successfully get to Azure. And what Andrew and I thought we'd do with this talk, this is a little bit of a new talk, but what we want to do is show you what we've learned working with customers getting their ASP.NET apps and their WCF apps to the cloud and to Azure. And also show you some of the tips and tricks, some of the learnings we've had along the way, and also some of the tooling we built to make your life a bit better as we did it. I also hope in this talk we do a little bit less of the it depends and actually give you straight answers for what we recommend. So does that sound like a pretty good idea for today? Excellent. You probably saw as you walked in, here it is, we have this survey. It would be really awesome if you all could take time, when you have time, click through it. Only takes 2 minutes. We'll learn a little bit about you, just kind of like your demographics, what you're trying to do, and we will follow up with each and every one of you, see if we can help. Okay? All right, so today, as I mentioned, the main topic is moving your ASP.NET and WCF workloads to Azure. We have a number of great strategies that we'll walk through for that. The main service that we're going to focus on today is Azure App Service. It's also called Azure Web Apps. It's not the only service we're going to focus on. There are many great reasons to use web apps. It's my favorite service to start with, but that said, there's a number of good reasons why you might need to move beyond it, and we're going to try to guide you to which one is best, depending on your situation. Okay, so we talked about what we'll go through. I want to talk a bit about migration goals and some of the strategies we'll think about, and then I'm going to hand off to Andrew. He's going to go deeper around migrating to app service. And, oh, that's funny. I was looking at the preview. Sorry. It's bigger. The preview's bigger for me. And then I'm going to switch back, and I'm going to show you a little bit about containers, where I've been spending a bit of my time for the last 6 months. All right, so let's just talk about the value of migrating, of optimizing and modernizing. And I want to see if this resonates for you. Because I know one of the most interesting things that I've realized, getting through a migration a lot of times isn't exactly technical. It's about convincing the management team, convincing the business team that actually makes sense to migrate, right? Because you might have a perfectly good app that's running on perfectly good hardware that you've already paid for, right? And so moving through this business case can be kind of tricky. So I want to try to help you with that and see if this resonates. The first thing that I hear is agility. Agility is kind of the number one thing I think you're going to get out of modernizing and migrating. It's going to set you up for things like continuous delivery, maybe even containers. But basically, thinking about every check-in, every build you make is a build that can get tested, that gets deployed, that gets in front of your users, that gets feedback, and really speeding up that loop. There's a very well-known entertainment company somewhere in this area. And I talked to them, and in one of the apps, it would take over 3 days to get through the deployment process, and that was just way too much. We had that going in under 5 minutes by the time we got through this journey, and that's the kind of thing I hope we can make happen for you. Second thing is really kind of time to market, right? So it's like time not only to get builds out for feedback, but time to get things to your customers. And then also things like lack of scale, HA, when I say HA, I mean high availability, kind of that 100%, 99.9999999% uptime, getting all of that, and then having the insights and analytics to really tell you if things are healthy and if things are going the way you want. TCO, so the cool thing, as you know, any move to cloud, you're moving from the capital expense model to the operational expense model. So just moving your infrastructure is a good thing. And it's not just a one-time thing. Sure, you might have paid for your data center, you might have paid for your servers, but you've got to maintain those things. And that's real cost. Operating that is real cost. And I think that's something that people need to understand. The last thing is just kind of like standardizing, consolidating, and simplifying. It turns out, wouldn't it be great if the IT team could have a set of stable infrastructure that they provided to app developers, and app developers could just focus on the applications? And by modernizing in this way, you can really achieve that. So does this resonate for you? Are these some of the reasons why you want to migrate? I'm seeing some head nods. Are there any big reasons that I'm missing why you want to? Yes, sir.
What about reliability?
Reliability. Yep. So this gentleman's saying, hey, what about reliability? This on-prem server is a big source of failure. So absolutely. I think about that. I kind of have it clumped under time to market, but I think you're right. It stands under its own. You want this constant uptime. You want this high availability. And if you're firefighting any one server that could be a point of failure, that's a problem. So by moving to the cloud, you can leave that problem to Azure, right? Azure will, as soon as something's unhealthy, we'll spin up another one and have it ready for you. You just don't have to worry about it. That was a great one. Any other things I'm missing? Okay, if you have more, just holler it out. It's kind of nice when these are interactive. Some of the sentiments we hear a lot, we put some nice caricatures to make it a little bit more lively, but the sentiments we hear is like, hey, I just don't have time to rewrite this thing from scratch. That doesn't make business sense, right? Like, there's a lot of IP in the app. I'm kind of like doing all this work just to get back where I was. Another one is there's a lot of really good code, really good thinking in the code base, and you want to reuse it. I just want to get some of these better operational and points of failures fixed. The third thing is like, hey, it feels like I just have to learn so much. I have to retool my own skills. I have to retool kind of everything to move to the cloud. So these are the patterns and feedback that have been kind of influencing us and to think about how do we make a smoother kind of path and journey into the cloud. Which brings us to this thing we're playing with the word cloud maturity spectrum. But these are phases that we see a lot of developer teams and a lot of applications go through. So the first one is really just thinking about what we call lift and shift. You guys heard lift and shift? You're talking about that? So lift and shift to me is just take what you have on-prem, really just change nothing or almost nothing, put it on the cloud, get functional equivalents going, and that's your starting point. We'll talk about it in a bit, but really, I would think about Azure virtual machines as kind of the first stop for lift and shift. It at least gets you out of the data center, it gets you into the cloud. And that is the easiest way to get to the cloud, but it's also probably the lowest value that you're going to get out of the cloud. But at least you're kind of getting your feet wet. The next thing is really getting from lift and shift into what we call the modernize space. And there are going to be some code changes, probably, but they're going to be small. There's going to be some configuration changes. There's going to be a little bit of refactoring. But with these small changes, you're going to get huge wins, right? You might start using some of these fully managed services that Andrew's going to show you. You might get a much better DevOps process because, let's say, you're using containers. We're looking for like kind of the best bang for the buck out of the modernize. And then the last thing is kind of modernizing your full app, and that kind of means going from all the unmanaged services that we're using today, like IIS, just plain old ordinary IIS, plain old ordinary SQL, plain old ordinary Windows services, and just picking that modern equivalent in Azure, in the cloud, so that your app starts to feel like it's a native born-in-the-cloud app. Make sense so far? So a couple things I'll stress is a lot of times I see customers aspire to get all the way kind of to the right with the modernize for cloud. And sometimes what they decide for business needs is, for this part of my app, I'm going to lift and shift only this part of my app, and I'm only going to modernize this part of my app. And I'm going to have the two interop through HTTP, let's say, or through networking. And that's totally cool. Like, in reality, Migrations are really phased and they're incremental. And that's just the way the real world works. So I wouldn't think of this as absolute click stops. You might find that phases of your app fall in each one. You might even find that, hey, I'm going to park this thing in a VM for a little bit, but then I'm going to come back and I'm going to modernize it fully later. And that's what I see most customers actually do. So don't feel like you have to forklift and get everything over to modern. In reality, most people don't do that anyway. All right. And this build slide's messing with me a little bit.
We won't just walk backward from the modernized to the...
Okay. So the ideal state that I usually think about is the fully modernized step, where the key services I would focus on is app service for your front end. So app service web app is really good at stateless web apps like ASP.NET, stateless web APIs like IIS-based WCF, like web APIs, even like OData. So those are the things I would target there. SQL database is our fully managed SQL service. It's great for relational databases. It is built on the SQL code base. It's just hosted in the cloud at scale. We have things like serverless functions. That's good for event-driven programming. Anything that you have that's kind of like a worker or kind of like a Windows service and it's more event-driven, you might consider throwing those over to functions because they'll scale really well. They're incredibly simple. And then from there, you might actually graduate. Let's say that you have a rather big distributed app, lots of layers, lots of services. The scale requirements of each layer might be different. Like you might need to scale up the front end more than the back end. You might have a back end that does heavy lifting that at bursts needs really heavy compute-intensive resources. You might want to scale that up. If you have any of those kind of check boxes, I would look immediately at something like Service Fabric, because Service Fabric really screams at building distributed apps and even microservices, and it was natively built for that. We built SQL database and Cosmos DB ourselves on top of Service Fabric. That's the kind of scale that you can get with it. And then, another, I think about modernizing your DevOps at the same time. Get CI/CD, get monitoring set up. To me, this is the end goal. This is where we want to get to over a long period of time. Maybe not everything immediately, but over the point of time. Then we can kind of back off from that. There's kind of like little wins that we can get along the way. I think some of these high-value wins would at least be modernizing your DevOps. So again, I would think about CI/CD, and I would think about monitoring and app insights immediately. And then I would consider using Docker containers, because Docker containers will just give you really portable, really agile DevOps process. And I talked about before, it's that really good way between IT and ops teams and developers, so that IT can just provide a set of resources. Developers can be free to deploy into those resources, and there's much less friction, I think, between the two entities. It's a lot better to partner around delivering what you need once you start using containers, right? There's just really no customization you need to ask your IT person for, because once they stand up that container cluster environment, you really got what you need. The container can run what it needs to run beyond that. We'll talk about it a little bit more. I think Andrew's going to touch on it, but SQL Managed Instance is a really good play too, where it is SQL Server. It's almost like SQL in a VM, but it's managed by Microsoft. So if you don't want to change your SQL code, let's say you're using SQL CLR, you've customized model and master database, Azure SQL Managed Instance will be just like an immediate fit. You don't have to rewrite stuff. And last, there's lift and shift. Almost don't need to explain it. It's the way you run your VMs. It's the way you run your SQL servers, just on different networking addresses. Okay, so I'm going to switch gears and hand off to my partner in crime here.
Cool, thanks, Paul. So I think, as Paul mentioned on the previous slide, right, we walked backwards a little bit from the ideal state, and then I think we'll talk a little bit as we go about decision points where you may decide that you can't get to the ideal state, right? So Paul pointed out that there's going to be times and reasons, which we'll talk about a little bit in a second, why app service, SQL database may not meet your needs, right? It's going to require probably changing some code, rewriting some code. but we'll start at the ideal and we'll work our way back a little bit. So the first service we want to talk about, which was promised to you in the abstract, was Azure App Service. And this is a really great place to start if you're looking to get started in the cloud, just because it's really easy to get started with, and I'll show what that looks like here in a minute. I'm not going to read the slides, but it has first-class integration with our developer tools, so Visual Studio, supports pretty much any runtime that you would want, both .NET, .NET Core, Java, Node, Python, and it has really built-in great monitoring, diagnostics, things like that, and we'll take a tour of that here in a little bit.
Can I just ask a question? How many people, and it's okay to raise your hand, I'll raise hands, who has workloads that have no monitoring, no logging set up whatsoever? Yep, I think we all do, and you kind of get that for free.
You pretty much get that for free. It's as easy as clicking a button that says turn this on, and it just turns it on, and you at least get crashes, performance information coming out of your application without adding any custom code to the application.
And no need to remote desktop to get that data either, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of big.
We have what's called the eligibility checklist up here. It's really good for stateless web apps or APIs, for single service applications, and if you don't need any basically customization to the machine. So this would be if you rely on custom software that's installed on the machine. This is fully controlled by Azure, which means that they're going to upgrade it on your behalf, but it also means you can't install any custom software on that machine, right? So if you relied on COM components or something else, App Service is not going to meet your needs.
And we have alternatives for you if you're in that case, so don't worry.
Yeah, and as we talked about, there's going to be some new code required, and yeah, we'll work back from that. But if you're using file system anywhere in your application, so it allows people to upload files or whatever, and that's being stored in a local file system, you're going to need to move that over to Azure Storage. There's a couple different options for that. You can work directly against blob storage. Azure also offers something that lets you mount a storage account as a drive, so it would be as simple as updating the code to work with the drive letter that you've chose to mount.
You basically net use a drive and point it to Azure, and that's it.
Correct. If you rely on the system registry to configure your application or provide settings, you're going to have to move that code over where you would read the registry to use environment variables or some other configuration, such as Key Vault. And that's just because, again, it's fully managed. You don't actually have access to the hardware or the operating system directly, and so you're going to get an error if you try to read from the registry inside an app service environment. Sign-in, authentication, Active Directory, IS configurations, these are all things that are not going to behave the same way. So if you have any of these things in your application, thinking about kind of working backwards, it may be that taking one step back and looking to go to either containers or infrastructure as a service, VMs, is where you want to be as a starting point.
But you are going to show something kind of cool around hybrid as an approach?
I am. Yep,
okay.
Absolutely.
Right.
So one of the things Paul mentioned, which we'll get to in a little bit, is there's really cool capabilities, and I'll show the demo of how to set this up. It's called hybrid networking, where you can choose to move certain parts of your application while basically VPNing back into on-premise or other machines to get access to that.
Right, so if you're not ready to do AAD like by Monday morning, that's a pretty good alternative, right?
Yep, absolutely. And we'll show that here in about 3 minutes. Cool. So the other service that Paul talked about, which we think about from a modern perspective, where if you can get there, you're going to get the best benefits of the cloud from Microsoft, and then from a cost perspective as well. And one of the other things to consider here is right on the cloud maturity spectrum, when we talk about kind of that middle column about modernizing, stuff's going to work, but you're generally just going to pay a little bit more than you would for app service. So the Azure SQL database is a fully managed database that offers most of the capabilities of a complete SQL server. As Paul mentioned, it's built from the same source code as SQL servers, the SQL server that you'd run on premise. The two big things that get some people is there's no SQL CLR support. So if you've written stored procedures in .NET, that's not going to work on the Azure SQL database. And there's no changes to model or master database.
Right, so you have to leave them stock.
Correct. If that's not an issue for you, we'd recommend that you start here, because you're going to find this is going to be a little bit lower cost than the full Azure SQL managed instance. So it's a great option for that. But again, if it doesn't work for you for any reason, you can step back, you can use the SQL managed instance, and that will provide 100% compatibility with the SQL
I think
server.
in some ways it'll even be better, because it's actually a full server farm, if you think about it. And I don't know how many times you've set up a server farm. That's a lot of work. But this is already a highly scalable geo-replicated farm.
What about synonyms and cross-database calls?
I
The question was, what about synonyms and cross-database calls?
I don't know off the top of my head. I know SQL Managed Instance will do that. I don't know about SQL DB. I'll follow up. Question was synonyms. Yep.
Good question. Sorry, we don't. So we're going to go ahead and walk through an example that Paul mentioned. And so what we're going to take is we're going to take a sample application called Smart Hotel 360. It's a simple website that lets people check in and out of a hotel.
It's on GitHub, so we'll share it with you too.
Yep, it's totally available. So happy to point it to a link at the end. And how it's running today is it has the website running inside IIS. There's a web front end. There's a WCF backend. That WCF backend is calling into a SQL Server database on my behalf. And right, so if we think about running this in physical infrastructure, if I need to scale this up, I'm going to have to spin up another copy of the virtual machine. If I need to scale up my database, this is what Paul was just talking about, managing this stuff, and we have to spin up another virtual machine that's hosting my SQL Server as well.
And I don't know if this is your situation. You might actually physically have to ask someone for another machine or get permission for more resources and wait, right?
So this is where the managed services that we were talking about in Azure App Service and SQL Azure come in and become really, really nice. So what we're going to do, I mentioned we're going to take a hybrid approach here as a starting point. I want to just take the web portion of this, the web forms front end, and I want to move that up into Azure App Service. And I'm going to leave my WCF and my SQL database in an on-premises location. I mentioned that I can achieve this via VPN or a hybrid network connection in Azure.
One thing I find even as you're doing dev test, even if you're going to do a full migration, a lot of times you want to be in the state that Andrew's showing just so that you can get your own development process working, right? Because otherwise, to get your app running at all, you might be waiting for your database, your sign-in, all these things to be there, and that just might not make sense, right?
Right, like if you move one thing at a time, you can isolate problems to that one thing, as opposed to, if you try to move too many things at one time and something doesn't work, trying to troubleshoot where that problem is a huge...
In my own experience too, moving the sign-in is probably the hardest problem. So you've kind of moved that problem from being the first thing you deal with to later on.
Yep, absolutely. So as mentioned, I have my solution here in Visual Studio. It has two projects. It has the Smart Hotel Registration.web, and it has the Smart Hotel Registration.wcf. And so I mentioned that the database access is all done through the WCF client, and the web makes the WCF call across that boundary. So if I wanted to get this up...
It's like a classic three-tier app, right?
Classic three-tier application. That's exactly right. So the starting point, we've already gone ahead and published it to the cloud, but if I'm a developer, one quick way to move the web front end up into Azure App Service to try it is simply to right-click in Visual Studio, say Publish. I have two options. I can create new resources if I have permission to do that. And I know in a lot of organizations, people don't have permissions to create resources. And so if the administrator has created something for you and given you permission to it, you can simply choose to publish into an existing resource. So I'll choose existing in this case, and it will give me a list of all the things after it finishes loading. Conference networks are particularly fabulous here. And so Paul, for example, has created a account for us, a subscription.
I can't wait to see my bill after Andrew's been done with me this week.
And so I can pick any of these websites that he has shared with me and given me permission to that I could choose to publish my site up into. Now we've gone ahead and already done this. Publishing is pretty quick from Visual Studio, take about a minute and a half or so, but in this case we'll go ahead and switch over to the portal. And so we've published this. It's up and running in Azure at this point. And I want to give a brief overview of Azure App Service as a starting point for some of the capabilities. As mentioned, about less than 2 minutes to get it from Visual Studio up into the cloud. And I have a portal that gives me a lot of great options. So we talk about running this production workloads potentially here. So one of the first things that I would probably care about is I'd care about HTTPS support or SSL. And so that's fully built in. It's just some checkboxes, right? So we already have HTTPS only on. That means that if I try to go to this via an HTTP, it'll automatically just redirect it to HTTPS. I have TLS on.
We got questions before this, like what ports are open on an app service?
So right now, today, the only two ports that are exposed through app service in this particular app service plan is 80 and 443. There is another type of app service plan available to me called an app service environment that would be a little bit more expensive, but it would give me more ability to customize the ports that I
That's
care
kind of like
about.
your own dedicated app service.
It's your own dedicated app service. That is
But
correct.
this one's fully managed by Microsoft.
That's correct.
All right.
So the other thing we talked about is, let's say I want to scale out. So we talked more on our slide, we talked about having to spin up a VM and potentially email the operations team and asking for that. App service is as easy as changing a slider or a number in a text box, and I can go between 1 and 10.
Or even PowerShell, right?
Or PowerShell, absolutely. Everything I'm showing through the portal is 100% scriptable. And we also have the option called Enable Auto Scale. And so if I enable Auto Scale, this will allow Azure's load balancer to decide the traffic to my website, and it will spin up and spin down the website based on metrics that I would potentially want to specify.
And by the way, what's an instance? How do I think about an instance?
Great question. An instance in App Service is the number, basically dedicated resources in Azure. So it would be the equivalent in on-premise of a virtual machine. So every instance would be, you get a dedicated processor and a certain amount of RAM for however many applications you want to run in what they call an App Service plan.
So if I had like 3 instances, now traffic could come in and get load balanced by 3 sets of resources?
That's correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
I don't have to build the load balancer.
You don't have to build the load balancer.
Right.
Nope, just baked in.
That sounds hard.
The last thing I wanted to show is we talked about doing, that's fine, I don't care about discarding any changes, is networking. And so what I mentioned is I want to, okay, oh sorry, wrong button. So I mentioned there's a concept of hybrid networking. And so I have my WCF service hosted in a virtual machine back in Redmond, and it's probably going to ask me to log in. Oh no, perfect, I'm already logged in. And so I can see I'm running this hybrid connection manager on my virtual machine that's hosting the IIS server.
Again, this is on-prem.
This is back in Redmond.
Okay.
This is an on-premise thing. I can obviously remote desktop to it because I'm domain joined and have VPN access to it. Okay. But yeah, it's not accessible from the web at all. I've installed the hybrid connection manager that's available from App Service, and I can see that it says that my hybrid connection is connected. And then when I go back to my App Service portal and I say configure my hybrid connection endpoints, I've added the same connection here, and it should come up and tell me that it's connected here in a second. Perfect. So it pinged it. It says that it's connected. And so my application...
That's kind of funky. It says localhost. What's that about?
Yeah, great question. So when I was developing the application, the URL that I've specified is localhost. And so because that's VPNing...
That's like for dev test. You used to do
that's actually the address on the machine that I'm getting the hybrid connection into. So this is localhost on port 2901. So if I fire up Internet Explorer over here, this is a server machine. So... we don't have Edge on it. I explore, there we go. And I go to localhost on this machine. Localhost, and what we're port 2901. So that should bring up my WCF service.
Nice.
And so what the localhost is doing on my hybrid connection is actually saying when you pass the connection through, this is going to be the URL on the on-premises side that you're going to route this connection to.
Let me just see if I understand this. When I'm running my IIS app in App Service, when a call is made to that localhost 2901, that's going to get relayed through the hybrid network connection to on-prem.
That is correct.
Okay.
So basically it's doing tunneling for me into my on-prem.
That's just using like port 80 or port 443, which is totally cool already through my firewall, right?
That is correct.
Right.
So if we go back here to my application settings tab, you'll see that that's the URL that I have specified in my application settings here. So if I go down, this is in fact the WCF service UI is the application setting. Application settings in App Service are basically environment variables that are passed into the process. So there's code in the application that's reading this out of the environment variables. And so, yeah, I'm passing localhost 2901 in here, and as you said, the hybrid network connection knows inside App Service that whenever it sees a request to localhost 2901, that it's going to pass that through the proxy.
Sweet.
Which is pretty cool that we can be tunneled back into a machine that's on-premise.
Yep. And that's good code, that's a good server, just leave it there for a while.
It's perfect, and so I can get the front end, the web application up, running, test it, see that it works before I worry about moving my database or my WCF service up into Azure. Okay. Cool. So, Paul, you want to?
Sure. Now, we had talked about the ideal case. So what we want to get to is kind of like fully managed services, meaning everything is run by Microsoft, everything is in the cloud, everything's using the best cloud native service. So the way we envision that is we would have both the web form and WCF running in the same app service plan, and that would allow horizontal scale of that whole piece. I could actually even have one plan per layer if I wanted to, and then I could independently scale those. And then we're going to use SQL Azure DB, which could be managed instance if you have some of those migration gotchas that we talked about. And then at that point, now it's fully managed SQL, it's fully managed app service, it's good to go. And by the way, I would use a VNet, so that my VNet fences all my resources by default, and I just rely on my front end allowing that port 80 and 443 in.
So virtual network, or VNet, or virtual network, what it does is it allows me, when I put things inside it, I control what actually has access outside of it. And so it's like my own private little network.
Exactly.
So
it's exactly like a
in
private.
this world,
It's
if my database and my WCF service are inside that virtual network, the only way into the virtual network would be through port 443, potentially on the web forms.
That's right.
Perfect.
Now, if your app is less simple than this and it's much more distributed, I would still consider at this point something like Service Fabric. We'll get to that, but for I think this incredibly simple case, this is still a great way to go. So do you want to show us a little bit about how this would be different than what you showed last time?
Which
just like how the app would look different when it's fully managed?
Yeah, I think so. We
then I'll wrap up with containers.
Yeah, so once it's fully managed, we would just put it up into, everything would now be running in Azure. So we'd have a SQL database. So if I exit out of this, I can see that now my WCF is up running.
Maybe you can collapse that thing.
Perfect. Yeah, my WCF is now in here. So I have my Web Ignite. I have my WCF Ignite. I have a SQL Azure database and a SQL Azure server. And so everything should be talking to everything else. So in this world, I should just be able to plug in the URL of my WCF Ignite.
Now, keeping you honest, were there any kind of gotchas that happened publishing the WCF in addition to the ASP.NET?
For this simple application, there were not. As with any, I always have problems that I mispasted the connection string to my database, and so I spent about 10 minutes debugging that until I realized that it was an invalid connection string, and that's why it was timing out. But yeah, other than that, in the case of this sample application, it didn't have any of the gotchas we talked about, right? It's not reading from the registry, it's not using storage, it's not doing anything else.
Right. But could you just, let's say I had a reg key, where would I put the environment variables instead?
Yeah, well, I just showed that a minute ago, but application settings.
Just to reinforce that.
So under application settings, and this is where, for example, I have my database connection string is pasted under here, and I can see that the type is SQL Azure.
Now, if I needed to keep my system dependencies and my admin installed dependencies, and there's just no way to kind of eliminate that, I would use containers, and I'm going to show you in a minute what that would look like.
Yeah, the other thing that's worth showing at this point, since we're here, is you may have seen on the Overview tab, because we talked about the integrated diagnostics that we have.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And so Application Insights is just built in. It's available in any of the services that we're going to talk about, but in Azure or App Service, it's as easy as clicking a button that says to turn it on. And so, we're not actually hitting this right now, because I haven't updated my
Maybe just hit
connection
search or app map.
But if we hit the application map, this is pretty cool that it's doing the correlation across the various services that we're talking to.
This is historical, right? So it's built up a graph.
It's correct. Where's my zoom on here? There it is.
Maybe get the other stuff out of the way.
Yeah, but so what I can see is I can see that all of my traffic is coming into and originating from my website. And then I can see, this is actually while I was working on getting my hybrid network set up. That's what a lot of these different IP addresses were. For the record, localhost is the one that works. But yeah,
we actually learned that using DNS names is always better than static IP addresses.
Yeah,
so share that.
Yep, that's exactly correct. You can see that these are, so you can see that these are originating. I can see I have one instance running, And then I can see this, my WCF service over here, and that the WCF service is actually making the call to my SQL Azure database.
Maybe can you just click on a line to show there's like success and failure rates?
Yep. So I can see that the calls to here had 100% success rate. The calls to localhost, while I was getting my hybrid network set up, it wasn't working initially, and so they only succeeded at 37.5% rate.
And could we just to show off, could we show like one failed request?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's look at a top failing request by name. That would be the home page. And so I can see that the response code was a 500. That means I crashed. I can see that it was a socket exception, 27 of the 32 failing requests, argument exception.
Let's even pick one. Let's take a 500 because those are spooky to diagnose.
Yep.
500, as we know, is an internal failure, right? So why did I see some smiles?
So let's do the socket exception.
Sure.
And so this is going to show me all of the instances now. It has a suggested instance to explore.
So it's kind of building up a big data database of all the failures.
Correct. And so I can see the message, I can see the exception type, I can see the failing method, and I can see the full call stack of where that exception occurred.
And even on the left, you can see at the HTTP level, it came in as a 500, but you can actually track it all the way to the code level exception that happened in .NET. So again, like incredibly powerful. Just by deploying to App Service into Azure, you get this diagnostics. Cool. All right, we should switch over then to the surface. Okay, so at this point, we've moved the front end and the back end over to our favorite kind of all the way to the right services. We're fully cloud modern. Now, let's talk about modernizing our DevOps a little bit. So the thing I want to call out here is we can use things like containers, CI/CD, monitoring put together, and that's going to take us the next level of agility. Containers work super well for containing your dependencies, but also for being that common currency between developers and between IT and ops. And we've just seen from experience that like once you move to this model, your pipeline moves so much faster. Also, you get some of the additional benefits that each container, each layer can really scale independently, can be patched independently. One thing that we've been working on, at Microsoft, and so many people in the ecosystem have too, there's vendor images, there's vendor Docker containers for so many things now. So a lot of our workloads that we're migrating are probably based on Windows Server and on some version of .NET. Is that right? Maybe some Java, maybe some other supporting stuff. But we have the Windows images, and we also have the Microsoft/ASP.NET image that we maintain. And literally every Patch Tuesday, you're going to see there's an update to those patched images. So let us do the work of patching servers. In your case, you can use Docker just to keep rebuilding and using the new version of the infrastructure. You can focus on your code. We have great tooling for this. We have a ton of networking options. I would look at Docker for stateless workloads first. What I mean stateless is things like a web app or a web API that doesn't like hold on to a bunch of session and leverage that session from request to request. In those cases, that'll work incredibly well for Docker. When you're in a Docker environment, Docker containers, they're meant to come and go very quickly. If you read up on Docker, they talk about Docker containers like cattle, like don't get too attached to them. We know what their fate might be. But thinking about that, since you have containers coming and going, these stateful workloads have more problems in containers. So that's why I wouldn't look at those as the first thing I would do. Now, there are strategies for that, but it's a lot harder. You're kind of breaking into jail a little bit trying to do that.
Just curious, how many people here have worked with Docker so far? Okay.
Docker.
How many people here are thinking about Docker containers?
Okay, so it's some good interest. In this case, I'm also going to recommend just go straight to Visual Studio 2017, because 2017 is where the good tooling basically starts for containers and microservices. Who's using VS 2017? Okay, awesome. A lot of the room. Okay, great. Things that are going to require work from our experience, if you're using Active Directory, there's something you can use called GMSA. And GMSA, which are managed service accounts, will let Your containers talk to the AD and impersonate that identity. It's going to require a little bit of work, I'll be honest with you. Also, MSMQ. MSMQ has some problems today inside of containers. MSMQ doesn't like being in that kind of ephemeral, getting shot down process-wise container environment. So if you have private queues, they'll actually work pretty well. If you have public queues, I would actually stay away from that, and I would try to move off of queues and do some work to move over to something more current, like Service Bus or a standard like AMQP. The other thing is, just like Andrew said with App Service, the file system is always something you have to think about because these containers, they come and go. If you're writing to disk, that data is going to come and go. So you're going to always want to mount some kind of cloud storage from your container. And where Service Fabric comes in, Service Fabric is, I guess we moved. Anyway, Service Fabric is the first service I would look at for running Docker containers in Azure. It's fully supported. It's rock solid. We run it. Next slide. Oh, you put it there? He adds value, but I don't always move as fast as Andrew. Okay, yeah, so the fully supported would be the Service Fabric cluster. Something really cool, and we've been talking about this week, maybe you caught Corey Sanders' session, maybe you caught Mark or one of the other folks. Service Fabric Mesh is going to just take the next leap in making container development incredibly easy, especially for Windows and .NET developers. So if you can live with preview, if you can wait for production a little while longer, I would even start looking at Mesh.
I think it's also worth pointing out, while you switch over to demo, I'll just mention that App Service also has container support for Windows and Linux. The Windows one is still in preview support at this point. But if you're just looking to get your feet wet with containers, you haven't tried them yet.
Yep.
Just like I was talking about how easy it is to get started there, right? Visual Studio just enables right-click publish support to get your regular web application up and running. It does the same thing for containers. And so if you haven't tried containers but are curious, that would be where we'd recommend starting as well. Although as mentioned that the service is not GA yet, and so you wouldn't want to run production workloads in it until it becomes GA.
And the same thing I would say for App Service containers as I would for normal App Service. It's really good for single services. Once you start getting into a distributed app with a bunch of services, I'd probably still look at Service Fabric.
Yep.
Would you agree with that?
Absolutely agree.
Okay, excellent. So for the sake of time, we're going to do a little bit of a cooking show thing where I'm going to show you what we've already done. So here in Visual Studio, we have the same exact application. We have Smart Hotel Web, Smart Hotel WCF, and there's a command in Visual Studio where I can add, a little too click happy, where I can add orchestration, add container orchestration support. And in this case, I'm going to pick Service Fabric. There's also Docker Compose, which is a great technology. In this case, for lift and shift, I'm going to pick Service Fabric. And what that's going to do is it's going to create the Service Fabric Mesh preview application project. And this is incredibly simple. It's just a very simple manifest saying, here's the name of my app, here's the version. And if I look at each of my projects now, my project's got two things. It got a service YAML, and the service YAML defines some really simple things like the name of the container image we're going to use. And by the way, Visual Studio will build that container image. And it's going to say the endpoint port, and it's going to set a few environment variables. And you can even see secrets, like we follow best practices. We don't put those in your project. We allow those to be put in later in the environment. And you can specify some hardware specs and replicas and cool stuff like that. But that, to use a containerized orchestrated infrastructure, all I had to do was do that step, add those manifests. By the way, it adds a Docker file, if you're not familiar with that. Here, we're saying, here's the image from the vendor, from us, from Microsoft, that you're going to use. So it's Microsoft Windows Server with ASP.NET 4.7.2. And we're going to install some stuff, and then we're going to publish it. And then the net result, we'll pull it out of the oven. We have our application running in containers, and in the portal, I can see my mesh. I can see our mesh service, and both application services are deployed, and they're getting monitoring, and they're hooked up through networking. Okie dokie. So that was like whirlwind tour of Service Fabric Mesh, and it's incredibly easy to deploy to it. So let's capstone where we are. All right. We don't need to talk about VMs. We know what VMs are, right?
Yeah, I think the whole point of this slide is, right, we kind of worked backwards from app service, SQL, kind of all the managed services. If those don't meet your needs, containers are a great option if you want to start getting some of the benefits of DevOps and agility. And if really, going back to that cloud maturity slide, you just need to get it into Azure and you don't want to change anything, you don't want to learn how to do containers, add any code changes, VMs are the right place to go.
Perfect. Okay, so in summary, App Service and SQL are the two focal managed services in Azure I would look at for migration. Hopefully we showed you some tools and approaches you can use. Also, we can use containers to improve our agility and to improve our DevOps process. And we showed you a set of things you can do there as well. Last, no matter what you do, we recommend modernize your monitoring, turn on that monitoring, make sure it's on, use CI/CD, and therefore every build you do gives you feedback and data about how things are going. We want to leave you with follow-up content so you can try this on your own. So every resource, every piece of guidance, and a lot more is on that first site, Migrate to the Cloud. We just updated it a day ago, so I'm kind of happy about that. The two kinds of code we showed you, first the one that Andrew took us through with app services, and then second the one I took you through with Mesh. Here's the GitHub repos. Like, go clone them, try them today. And I'd really encourage you, please take this survey. It'll just ask for your contact info if you're okay with it, and we would love to talk to you about what your situation is, and we can learn from you and make our tools better. So with that, thank you so much.